I want to build a template from scratch here. Just right mouse click on your thing. And I'm going to go with the black and white. The original candlestick, which I think has been bastardized by the red-green thing because I feel like it's a street light kind of mentality. And so there's the mechanics of trading, and then there's the belief system. I just watched the guy scalp, and I swear to God, the guy's running a trailing stop. I'm like, just get the fuck out. It's a scalp, right? But his belief is that that's the proper money management. So if you believe that your money management's based on some type of thing you read in a book, I think that there's this compelling moment when you're up on a trade to just get the fuck out. And why wouldn't people do that? Because it might go higher, but it might not. So the probability is sitting there. I think you just, honestly, the best, okay, the bigger you start to get in and the more you're up, you're going to say, well, you know, we're right at resistance on the 15-minute chart or something, you know, or on the dailies. Get out. Just get out. It's ridiculous, right? And, but that's the way to build an account and then just not have to worry about, you can still go back to making your old mistakes, so to speak, right? So as you start to trade better, you start to think outside the box, or I hate that phrase, think outside the box, because that's already become the box, you know? So I like to go with, fuck the box, you know? There's no such thing as a box. It's a four-dimensional world, so you have 3 dimensions and then you have your belief system. So the world's 3D, but you are the director of the show. So psychologically, when you set up a template, it leads you down a road. Now, if I make this black and white like the classic, I think I'm back reading a book. Because most books were printed in black and white, and I mean this red-green stuff. I got the fact that you want to show off the fact you got a color computer, but I'd actually prefer a black and white computer screen, the grayscale, because I don't need that drama. It's bad enough I'm looking at the chart. So if I go for the foreground would be black, and the background we just go black and white. Foreground's white. The cool thing is you can see it update on the fly here, so you kind of test how you want it to look. This is also another one I saw the guy do, was the guy that told me I was insane. He turned off the line chart, and I thought, you're missing the whole point of a chart. And if you look at anybody describe Elliott wave, they're perfect waves. You know, perfect waves. Elliott wave, you know, just forget about it. The more I think about it, I just saw this guy post. This guy that just was trying to trade the euro and just posted all this stuff. And, you know, he's going A to B equals C to D, and I'm saying to myself, are you serious? Like, that's not even... You just need a trade plan, that's all. You just need to pick some stupid-ass technique. My original way I made money was, if the market was down, I was buying. If it was up, I was selling. If they started to blow up my account, I'm just add money. Then I said, maybe I've got to figure out, I might be over trading it. Now, if you under trade an aggressive system, does that make it not like more like presidential? So this belief system, you know, on top of your 2D world, actually. So trading's a 2D world. And you can't grab the market and thrust it against the wall and beat the shit out of it. So you're really a passive participant. I've always, you know, the classic from the books, right? All read the books. That's trade defensively. That's where the concept of stop entry came from. Well, let's just, you know, let's just go with the flow, right? And then they would say, well, the limit order's really aggressive because you're picking a price. Hey, how dare you, right? Well, you picked the price on the breakout, right? What's the difference? But, you know, it's 2D world, and you've got your fourth dimension looking down on top of it. So here you can have different templates, different flavors, because I'm just going with the black and white for first, because this would be what you see in a book. So this is ground zero for me. A black and white chart, you can invert it. and go white candles on black. But here I'll use the classic hollow technique on the bull candle. I think it's supposed to be none. That gives us the hollow. I'm going to go for the black line, which if you turn off the, I don't think this guy realized when you have the line on, if you make the line a different color, you'll see a gravestone and the gravestone I think is open where it closed. A dragonfly, you'll see those come up with just that color. They'll just jump out at you. So if you're on the 5 minute, because you're talking about super, what would really be cool is if somebody built a candlestick that every time it changed 2 pips, it would change color. You know, that'd be cool. Like if you could build there's an indicator, indicatorville there. No chance of blowing up your platform if you fuck up the indicator, but that would be cool to have a indicator that, every 2 pips it increases, it gets a darker color, or it gets lighter color, depending on what goes from red to blue or green to red. But that's another idea. So the volumes is my entry price, so I can make that black, and I can make the stops 0. I don't want to see my stops because it's just going to scare me. That's another thing. I don't want to see my stops because I figured that I wrote good stops, right? I mean, I packed my parachute, right? There's a backup parachute maybe, but that's the other order. See, even people that jump out of fucking planes have 2 plans, right? They have a parachute and then they have a backup, but people trade literally one bullet, like a musket trading, right? I'm going to load this bullet. I mean, manually musket trading, right? In a world that the market's vibrating up and down, like, I'm just saying, if you're a scalper, person that trades places pendings and never there for the drama, they just kind of smugly whistle by the graveyard of all the fucknuts that stepped in front of the market with no stop, right? That's what a lot of scalpers do, because they're like, hey, I know where I'm going to get out. I don't need to stop. Until something crazy happens. Like, I'm sure somebody blew up their account when the euro was bid up, and if you were long the euro and you're like, holy shit, this is a great trade, and all of a sudden you're down 30% because you didn't take something off the table along the way. So let me see if this is the proper. So ask line, I'm going to go black. And the grid actually causes the colors of other things to change too inside of here. It changes the color of the background of I think this is it might be the bid or something like that, because the ask line you can change. I think this is causing the bid, so you just go black. And then I screwed up the candles here, so I guess we have to go bull candle needs to be white, maybe. There you go. This is the classic that I've seen. This is classic. I mean, if you're going to do candles, I went to my buddy's house, and this guy would buy and sell instruments. He would never learn how to play one instrument, but he just loved the idea of having an instrument. So he sold his guitar and he bought a banjo. He sold this beautiful Taylor guitar and bought a banjo. And I thought, man, he's really drinking, right? Now it's summertime, right? He sees stuff on TV and he immediately assumes that personality. So so I pick up his banjo, right? And I don't play banjo, but I could figure it out, right? There's strings, and I start to play it, and he said, "Oh my God, do not bastardize the instrument." I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, you got to use these finger picks," and he's dressing me up like I'm going out on a date, like doing my nails with these finger picks. And I'm thinking to myself, come on, seriously. I said, I'm not. As soon as you leave the room, I'm tearing that off, and I'm gonna play the thing the way I want to play it. But I don't know what it has to do with that. It's nothing to do with one. But look at this classic. Look at this classic view. Pellet number 1. Yep. Okay, so now there you go. So we saved the template, and I've got I got the Bitcoin up here. So Bitcoin with a classic. I did the Bitcoin thing, and Bitcoin's getting choppy. I'm ready to buy some Bitcoins while the price is not fluctuating like a whore. And like a crack whore, but look, it's still up. No down candles on Bitcoin. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. The weekly, we got the engulf on the weekly. Pretty clean, right? And here's that doji breakout. Wow. So we have a range now. We have $1,000 range on Bitcoin. Put this up to the 3,000 mark. But see, the market, the market's picking its own number there. So if we let the market pick the number, we can put the grid on the top. But this is just classic charting, right? Look at close to close. Notice the confluence with the doji. And look at this breakout. Man, the guy that put the hedge on here, I'm telling you, pure genius. Who put that hedge on? I have to add this is a start from scratch because the other one crashed so hardly. So roughly, we're going to add rectangles here. And this would be our order blocks. Our order, not the big boys, but our order blocks come in here. So we have our own, we're going to get in here. So we can change this to a little bit less harsh color. Yeah, we'll put those, we'll use one of those Gartley colors, right? What do they use for that? Not hot pink, that's just here, burlwood. Yes, this is very relaxing. Burlwood, I wish I had some burlwood. It's very expensive. I'm sure this is cheaper, this one. So if you're thinking in terms of, and I guess we're talking about this range here, and I guess if you use a logarithmic charting scale, it would probably make this look a little, but wow, look at this range, man. That's quite a chunk. So there's no trades in the weekly. Go to the daily. You could have placed pendings in the daily, I think. Right, like this. Jeez, I don't know, man. I'd have to trade breakouts. I don't have the patience to wait for a fill on these wicks. So breakout strategy. Probably the crudest strategy on the planet. You have a pending buy and sell stops at the top and bottom of this box. So how much you willing to risk? If you run too tight, and how are you getting in? Are you buying every day it's down? Well, you would have bought yesterday and you'd be up right now in the trade. So the crudest trading system in the world, without any indicators, had you had your orders sitting on the daily here to buy Bitcoins, fuck, can't move the stupid fucking box here. Not that I'm pissed, but this is, if we switch to line chart, the nice thing is that how to view the market, in my opinion, is to start off on the line chart. Let's take a look at what's really going on here. Now, I've marked off the dojis, and notice how they become tops, become bottoms. Look how easy that is to read. I mean, you know there's an uptrend as soon as you see this first fractal here. See the first pullback? It's kind of hard to see. I use my trusty zoom tool. Right here is a doji of some type. This is a doji, but your trade plan, here's a doji. So you start to see what a pause looks like, what a doji. If you do so you train your eye to think in terms of I guess this is the one-dimensional world. Right, so you have one dimension. This is, you only have two dimensions here. I'm upset the guy that I'm pausing. So yeah, it's very complicated to explain, I guess. This is one dimension, and two dimension is going to be if we turn on the candles, because now this is taking into account everything that happened at the party. This is just all the cigarette butts left behind. Think of this as if somebody's smoking a cigarette, every cigarette they smoke, they put it in a different place. But it's what, it's 8 minutes to smoke a cigarette, and this is the party. This is everything that happened at the party. All the other things, other than where you were sitting right there in that time frame rate. So this takes into account every time frame rate within, so almost infinity, I would say. I mean, the wick is infinity. We don't, as far as we don't know, but the closing prices, that's the only thing we can count on. So here's a big triangle on Bitcoin. One-dimensional world. If this breaks, we're going to go up again, but how far do you think we're going to go? Where are you going to sell? Right here, previous low. Does that seem to correlate to anything here? This is Bitcoin, people. People. Come on. Every market's the same. Every market's the same. How do you play it? If you do all your analysis here, the reason why I kind of hate candlesticks, here's a topic on the bottom, right? And the market's trading right now. Can you fucking believe it? The market's trading right now. I can't believe this market. So, yeah, right now you could step into the market. We're in a triangle. And you could probably, get some Bitcoins back and forth, stuff like that. That's the daily. And on the weekly, I marked off the dojis, which just happen to be top becomes bottom. So if you do wax on, wax off, I call it, this is wax on, wax off. These are completely different worlds. Completely different worlds. This is one dimension. This is one, two, and two-dimensional. Another second dimension is infinity, and still had the first dimension in the bodies of the candles. But this is like, who can't see a top become a bottom, right? How can you not see this breakout? And what's the first breakout? Right? The first breakout is the breakout of this fractal. Closing fractals. It breaks out, it pulls back to that price. It's very subtle. This is the same triangle as there's a triangle here. Right? Anytime you see this down, that's a triangle. See? Here's your Gartley. Your Gartley's not out here, people. This Gartley shit was like, I think these people want to see, like I said, I really think they want to see Batwings. They've been conned into watching Batman, and they like bikinis because bikini tops have two triangles. There's actually a bikini company called Triangle, misspelled. And I'm thinking there's a correlation here. Something's going on. You may think the Earth's flat, but let's face it, people love triangles. But for the market, it's just nothing but lack of volatility. And then it kicks up again, and it kicks up again. And Jesus Christ, man. This thing's just went berserkoid. And you know why? Because people are Brexiting they're just saying, you know what? Untethered, they say about the American dollar. When you watch all these people go, yeah, American dollar, buy gold, dollar's not worth anything. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. Well, certainly, it's as easy to print a $1,000 bill as it is to print a $100 bill. Right? So it's fiat currency. And people and the only thing that's propping up the dollar is the belief system. And that's really the only thing that's propping up Bitcoin. But don't forget, it takes electricity and it takes money to build a coin. And what's bitted up is the belief system that that is not fiat currency, maybe. Or what I really think it is that everybody's going to Bitcoin because they don't want to have to, they want to go mobile, they want to be on their phone. So Bitcoin's a mobile currency. The bank is not. The bank, you got to go to the fucking bank. You got their fucking ATM machine that I swear to God's got a fucking 286 in the motherfucker. What in the fuck is with these banks? Okay? You give them a fucking, you let them loan out 95%. The government lets them loan out 95% what they don't have. They build brick buildings. They got hot tellers. And they can't fucking get an ATM that's not like thinking about what, really? What is the process? Please tell me, what is the processor in there? Why isn't it optic fiber to a fucking solid state drive server? Why isn't it just seeing me and going, oh, it's you again, here's your money? No, it's like criminally governmental. But Bitcoin, you know, hey, boom, 40 millisecond execution. It's open on the weekend? What? So I'm not trading Bitcoin, but I'm just using an example. All markets are the same. So now I have this template, and I could save this one. I could just go to the next currency and that up. I'm going to put it on the S&P 500. So here's the monthly S&P 500. Here's the, I think, all the history on it. Well, going back to 1995. Looks a little overbought, eh? So definitely due for a pullback, right? So calling the top of the market's no genius move here, I don't think. Candlestick wise, on the monthly, we have our first candlestick to, we don't wait for any confirmation. Don't wait for confirmation. Like there's a doji at the end of the month. This is the end of the month. We're selling. We'd sell this inverted hammer. Yeah, put a stop in there. But don't bet the ranch. And the weekly you would have sold last week on the breakout of this doji. If you look at the line chart, it's very simple to look at the monthly line chart and figure, you know. Of course, it's just curling up here. It just keeps going up. So top bottom theory on the closing prices. Here's your top bottom, right? You can't really see it on the candles. I can't. Like if you can see it on the candles, then you're just amazing. Perfect top, bottom, and close here. And these are trend trades based on, you know that's a trend because you can draw it right there on closing prices. You know, it's above the trend, right? It says buy, even though it broke the trend line here. So the break of the trend line is not, somebody's talking about the break of the trend line, but it doesn't mean the trend's over. It's just a line based on here. It could have been based on here, and you'd say, yeah, the trend line broke, and okay, but this is like the moving average. This is the middle of the Andrews pitchfork, and then there's this trend line. You drew this initial trend line, and you were projecting a huge up move in the monthly S&P, and it didn't happen. And after it broke that trend line, this is the tops. This is the first mountain that becomes a double bottom. So you should be able to mark that off. And then when you turn the candles on, you're going to say, well, holy shit, I would have got stopped out of that. No fucking, yeah, no kidding. Top becomes the bottom. Get the truncated. Top becomes a double bottom. Then it fails. Then it comes back to here. And this is the buy zone, right? So if you put your orders in here right now and then turn on the candles, that's how you backtest, right? But you also, one more thing in that formula, you need to put on a price grid to see how many orders you got to put in and what spectrum of stops you got to run, right? To run the system that I basically am thinking about, you know, that I built everything on was that system. So now I'm going to turn on the candles, and there's also a retest here we missed. Retest here. There's a big fat when it goes flat like that, you know, there's like double dojis there. Double dojis on the monthly, it's support. Holy shit, right? So in auction theory, they bid it down here. The range trade. Wyckoff would call this markup, reaccumulation, markup again. So there's an accumulation phase. That is the flag. That's the triangle. That's whatever have you. And those happen over here too, but this is the monthly. You zoom out, you're like, holy shit. Look at how it's perfect top bottom here, right? So that's for a reason, right? That's a price. 1,400 on the S&P. 1,400 even on the S&P, anybody? This is the big pivot. Bottom becomes a top. On the monthly. Wow, look at it. It's back here too. Here's the big closing. When the market closed above this, you know, these hedge funds trade like goofs, like goobers. So what they do is they go long. You'll hear them say, I've talked to these people, man. I know people you'll never meet. I swear to God. I said, really? The guy from Barclays Bank? Yeah, okay. That's what they do. They go, well, if it goes above, we're just going to go, and they're forced to go long because as soon as people try to short into that, they're getting crushed and they're having to buy back, and this is what's giving you that insane move. But now it's parabolic on the monthly. I don't know. I almost say, could everything go up at once? I'm watching the euro and the pound, the euro dollar, the pound, and the yen are both dollar yen both going up. So the ones I did in the demo, they're all going up. So look at the I got the Bitcoin, I got the gold market. So I'll put my classic template on the gold market, template number 1. Go to line chart, start with a line chart, go to the monthly, and I did a video on this a long time ago. It's an old story, trend line. You know, I mean, how long and here's the top bottom stairway on gold. It should be pretty easy to see. And you just mark off all the that was the big kahuna, 975 on gold. But just before that, we broke out here. Here's the big internal top right there, just sneaking through the border. Then you have the perfect trend, the perfect stairway to heaven. Top becomes a bottom, top becomes a bottom. It's such a rate of change here. You can do the trend line top bottoms where it's actually clearing it, coming back, and here too. Now, when I learned RSI, this is what I learned, is that at the top of a market, as you're watching momentum of RSI, see, I just decided to use trend lines because I can see the divergence on trend lines. So once you know a system, you just kind of summarize it. And then, oh shit, oh here, backspace. Backspace deletes everything. As the market turns and you start drawing these trend lines, the internal trend lines, the most, like I said in the other video, the most recent vacuum is the most important vacuum because you can't trade down here. So watch as gold goes up here. This is the trend line. It looks a little bit like Gann angles as it goes through the phase here. I really want a fatter. This is very delicate, thin lines. As the trend's here, everybody's like, oh, there's a trend. So what's the first rollover point in, oh gosh, I turn off this scroll thing. Scroll the markets forward. Let's go to the common area. Is it in here? I guess not. Anyways, back here. As it rolls over, it gets steeper and steeper, and when the tops become bottoms on the trend line, that's right here. So this bottom becomes a top, but in an angle. So it's like momentum rollover. And as you go to the most recent, so you're always doing the most recent look back. When you turn the corner here at the top, if you draw a trend line on every one as it rolls over, this didn't quite work out perfectly, but typically as you come up here to the top, you're looking for this rollover. I'm going 2 back on that. So here's the perfect rollover. In monthly prices, as it goes through, it looks like a spiral. It just builds its own spiral. Off of this low, this low back here. And since all of these lows mean something from back here, so the further back you go, right, and it cues to this one, so it's critical as it rolls over there. Plus, you're trapping people and the volatility is insane up here on gold at this point in the story. And this is the top bottom. Now this has to hold. This is the most perfect illustration on the monthly gold market of the psychology of a crowd, how it spills out, and your reference is the last price momentum. So it's a momentum structure, just the perfect top, really. I mean, the perfect death of a bull. And when it didn't hold this, but look how it bounced off of this. Now, I talked about this trade way back then when I said, I did a video back there. I swear to God. And I said, there's a top here, and there's a top here, that other top bottom. So how did you know that was a good place to get in gold? Because back here, any hedge fund that shorted gold here, they bought it back here, or any person, that's where they covered their scalp as they shorted the top of the market on the monthly. And that's still a controversial price going forward, just bobbing around in here. So now turn on the candles, and you're like, holy shit, what the fuck? So now you gotta figure, well, can I see this rollover? Would I have picked that rollover point if I drew it on the wicks? Almost, I guess, because the monthly, you really have there's not really big wicks on the monthly. I guess you'd be a little late to the party there, because this is to be drawing your trend line on. But there's no, the beauty of the line chart, there's no ambiguity. It can only be one thing. Besides, moving averages are based on close. Most moving averages, these 200-day moving averages that people use are based on close. So why don't they? Yeah, because they're lazy. The moving average is the original EA. The very first EA is a moving average that was ever built. The expert advisor. I'm going to advise you on trend. So I'll just show you. I'll put up trend line, and you'll see how stupid it is. Insert. I move moving average. Insert moving average. So we go to trend. Moving average. What are these bankers using? They use a 20 EMA. So we'll get the 20 EMA in here. Right, not that it's not right like a what do you call it? A stop clock. We're going to use that exponential EMA. Yeah, that's fancy talk for it. Apparently this is going to, I like the weighted one, but you're like, yeah, see? There was a buy here. Yeah, oh boy. Yeah, see now, but when it crossed over here, I got short right there. Now that's the one crossing the 20, for God's sakes. I took the lag out. How fucking retarded is moving average. Look, look, it's in a downtrend. I only sell. Oh boy. I guess so, right? When did it cross over right here? Now you only sell. But how big do you sell? You sell right there on that rally? You'd have to. Wouldn't you rather sell up here? And so you sold here, your stop needed to be. Now what? I sold this, and Rutro, I sold right here, and I'm trapped, I'm clobbered. The problem with the moving averages, you're never going to buy here. What's wrong with that trade? You're not going to buy here? So now what? You buy? Moving average is pointing up, you buy? What happens down here now? You bought here with the same stop. Risking 2% you can't, you buy there. And you don't get out. And you buy here. Right, because it's down. Moving average is pointing up. Now moving average says take only sells. Now you're going to get whipsawed, right? Now you're going to get whipsawed. It's above the 20 EMA here. Here it says sell. It's not helping you get in the trade, though, is it? Is that 20 EMA going to help you get in the trade? I don't think so. I bought here, loaded the wagon, didn't get out, put my stop here. Didn't realize any profits because I was paying attention to my 20 EMA. I can't look at it. Can't look at it. So that's, you know, you can, and you could also make it tighter so it's more responsive. Now it's going to say, oh, I'll do this, do that. Get whipsawed. Go to the daily, go to the weekly. See, now it's lying to you. It's curved the wrong way. It's above the 20 EMA. It's below. It's above. It's below. Go to the daily. Holy shit. I'm whipsawed. It says sell here. Right? The robot would say sell here. Right? Sell this rally because it's pointing down. Sell all. You're telling that robot buy sell all rallies in a downtrend. He's going to get crushed. So whipsaw city here, you know, got a good call here, but then, you know, the monthly says buy 4 hour. Pretty tough, right? Pretty tough to look at. People believe in it though. You'll take this trade. You buy here, you'd sell here, you'd sell here, you'd sell. I don't know what you do there. Sell, buy. Don't forget you have to buy here, right? Just like you bought here. It's an uptrend. Here you're just getting trashed. Getting trashed, no signal. Now you want to have that 200 EMA, right? Yeah, just keep putting those in there. Now I'm going to take, but it's not helping you build a trade plan. What's wrong with bottoms become tops? Bottoms become tops. But what's wrong with that trade plan? So I guess it depends how you think. Once you put the wicks on, not too big a wick here, but look at this. Where was your stop? Don't you want to be the guy that has pendings on gold sitting down here and just buy, sell this window, buy this window, buy the wicks, See, I like to trade bar by bar, so I'm going to buy this because I got a buy limit sitting on closing prices. So there's no trade plan for me on a moving average. There's a trade plan for me on closing prices. So if I put a buy limit on this previous top and I turn on the, you see these two tops down here? So if I take these two tops down here and I put buy limits on them, not to say I won't get filled along with the goober running the 20 EMA. So I'll go wax on, wax off. Here is dimension 0, the time, dimension 1. And would I get filled? I would have got filled on this ticket at this price on that wick. I could have got in there and been out at the end of the day, and I could do the same thing on the 1 hour chart. I look for where would I have sold here? Right, this would be a place to sell. If you think the 20 EMA says it's in a downtrend, so it only takes sells. So I turn on the I go for my sell limits here based on this double bottom. So see, I would have got overfilled. See this wick? Which means that if I was really paying attention to every level in closing prices, if every bottom becomes a top, I have a sell limit here, and every top becomes a top, I have a sell limit here. This is the 1 hour gold. Top becomes a bottom, and this bottom is I just marked that bottom off. Every peak and valley is marked. These are all your tickets to sell because you're going to sell high. It's down, right? And you're going to buy low. So you have a buy limit here to go the other way. Look how that closes right on the hour and it goes up here. So that was your scalp, right? If you bought here, where is your exit? If you have a buy limit here and you see the price go, well, you got filled. Let's see if you got filled. And then your next thing is thinking, if you didn't get filled and you do the same trade again, this would be your scalp exit and you're out of that trade in the 1 hour. So when you mark this all off, then you're going to turn this on to see, and this, I guess, is the backtest part, is when I turn on the candles. So this is the anything that could possibly have happened. So if I mark off the actual, if I say, well, let me mark the wicks, and I'm going to mark this wick all the way. I'm just going to isolate the wick. In fact, it would be sweet to have as a wick, like a wick bot or a wick indicator, just wicks only, right? Like you build a template like that, and switch back and forth, because what's going to kill you in the market is the wick. But see, the wick is the chaos. That's your friend. At the end of the month, at the end of the day, there's no chaos in the price. At the end of the day, there's zero chaos, right? Because it's just the end of the day, and that's the price. During the day, holy shit, right? And during the day here on the hourly, look at this gold wick. And this is what these dumb fucks at like Greg Marino and the Flat Earthers call market manipulation. What it is it's supply and demand pent up. It's just so fucking hilarious how people can't understand what the fuck's going on here. When the market goes sideways too long, something's got to give. Boom. Boom. Right? Doji, you hit a doji button, right? Sideways. This means the market's not going anywhere. Now the ATR on that wick is critical. But now I've marked off these two things below. You have to think on what was the ultimate trade plan for this situation. You knew this low existed. you bought new lows behind that, below that, right? On the 1 hour, you had buy orders sitting below that shaved candle. On the 1 hour, and then it goes up. Look how far up it went. And look where it retested. Right here. Did you have a sell limit there? Now, when you look at the line chart, you're like, well, line chart says it never went there. And this is the trend. You're like, holy shit, man. I'm getting crushed in these markets. Like, turn these wicks out. You're like, oh my God. Look how many times I would have replaced that same ticket like a goober. Like a life goober. I could have put... Actually, look at how they went above the high of that spinning top. Those fuckers. Now, look at this. No indication of that trade working out. The only trades that have worked out here is wide stops selling every... If you do have a moving average system, at the end of that time frame, you better pull the fucking trigger, right? You just better pull the trigger unless you have limits based on structure, right? Wouldn't you just say, okay, here we go. Here's my trading system. Buy, sell. I'm assuming that you have moving average that's going up here. Like buy, sell. Here's your sells, right? Sell, buy back, top, bottom, sell, buy back, sloppy moving average, right? Sell, buy back. But when you turn on the wicks, which you can't turn on when it draw mode, but the wicks are going to kill you. Right? Wicks are going to kill you. This is why people are trading bar charts, right? If you go to the bar chart, this is good old Western trading here. This is when we shadowed up and we martingale. Now this is Western trading. And I know people want to be international in the candlesticks, and I got it, right? But this is how we used to trade in the old days. Now you can see the breakouts here real easy. And you can also see, I mean, it's just a whole different view, isn't it? Candlesticks, line charts, bar charts. And when you zoom in, it changes the whole story. Right? The whole story. Look at the wicks on there. I'm telling you, limit order trading has to be. And here you actually can't see the closing prices. So even them guys that were martingaling up back in the day, I think this is the most dramatic shift is from, because candles are showing you the body, and you can make the bodies black so that you can look at this. I mean, are you serious? Pure structure, wax on, wax off. Anyways, it's my view of the template and what you would do with it, or how you view the markets, right? Because how zoomed in are you? Here it looks very obvious. Oh, this looks like a good place to buy. So you turn the wicks and you're like, holy shit. I can't just buy. And should I really just buy? Shouldn't I just say, well, I'm always selling. So here's my rule. I'm always selling above me. If I was going to trade gold, I'd always be selling $1 above me for 15 minutes just to capture the chaos of the wick. And now that's trading from a standpoint of, I'm going to go with the, I don't like hard down, buy at the market, hard down in the 1 hour, buy at the market. But you have buy limits beneath you. Because if you think that that's going to turn around on a dime just because it closed there, and in fact it went down and it closed kind of up, you missed kind of the bottom. And you could just make so much money having these orders in, which just seems completely unbelievable and insane. But see, when the ATR kicked up here, you knew you had to switch gears, right? You got to get into a different mode here. Look at this volatility. Look at this thing. Look at that 4 hour. Look at the daily. My God, It's almost like a double top up here. It's just almost like resistance here. At almost 113, not quite. You notice a lot of these round numbers are never hit. People probably thought that, well, 113, man, I get out there, make it easy. Who's not buying down here, right? You have to be a retard not to buy down here. One order. So if it bothers you to have an order pending out there, then you gotta have to babysit the market. So you make that choice, and that depends. Really, it's all about lifestyle, right? Do you have time to look at this stuff? So yeah, Bitcoin's due for a pullback, huh? It's trading right now, I think. Of course, it's kind of quiet now. Look at this. I think it's trying to update. I destroyed this thing before. But yeah, I'd say let's go bar by bar here. So this is the trend, and you have a doji order, right? Or on the bar charts, you'd have a range order. You don't care about the open and the close. You're just looking for small bars to bracket. So there's your entry. Non-directional entries with a preset risk. These are the only trades you can take. You don't have to pick the direction on that. That's hard to believe, isn't it? Here you're a little trapped. You only trade these small bars. Here you're short, and you don't know why. See, the market filled you. That's volatility breakout system. Then you determine, you write a script for that. Inverted hammer. Now you turn a line chart, and you're like, holy shit. That's actually pulling up into that area, and you've got the low ATR entry, right? It's a good place on the first dimension to get in. This is a great place to get in. So the people that buy new lows are getting in. You're getting in because of a different reason. But you can have a button that gets in on a small thing. I don't know if this low here has got a small. See, here's another breakout. You're long going into this breakout. Oh, it's trading. Yeah, see, it's open. Yeah, Bitcoin trades on the weekends. Had no clue. Now look where this falls in the landscape. Your low ATR entry is a doji. See how that works? So somebody a long time ago, but 3 months ago, some guy said, explain to me how there's a triangle inside of that. So you're getting in because inside that, right, if we go to the 1 hour, that's a low ATR entry in the 1 hour. If you go to the 4 hour, it is open to close, right? That's the window of the doji. In other words, there's a plus you have, and then you can't even see it on here. So if you have a 4 hour window, you only trade 4 hour small bars, say, right? So you go like this, and I'm gonna, damn, let me change the color of this thing. So this would be my, say, my entries. If you have a day job, now in hindsight, it's gonna look, what's kind of funny is that you say, God, I can't believe that's the entry. And you could have actually built it on the, you could have built it on the 4 hour chart, say, right? Yeah, that's a disturbing color. I can't even get the, I'm going to go with the dark blue. So you're looking for a small entry window on the 4 hour. You have a 4 hour Bitcoin thing. So here's the smallest. There's actually 8 hours here. You got a breakout strategy running. Of course, your targets would have to be really big. Now, if you go to the daily, it's right there. Unbelievable, huh? Right there in the open, you're selling. I gotta make that bigger. Right here is your volatility breakout. Go to the daily. You're selling the open. It's a small previous day too. Right there. I mean, that trade there is great, right? On the daily. You sold there, Bitcoin. And where do you cover? Start buying new lows. Start buying back on here, and you have a go to line chart. And so if you're going to get in, you know, Windows upstate. I got my computer's too slow. I'm gonna buy some insane high-end computer now, some fast computer, because I'm just getting so frustrated with the slowness of the that hourglass shit. So if you're looking at the 4-hour chart, low volatility entry windows, or even dojis, right? But the doji is a small window. Your stop bot's going to look for a 4-hour, like your 4-hour stop bot right here. So to have this show up in the daily, I'm going to have to make that broader, but it's just one bar I'm picking out. So that's the entry here, which is actually filling this vacuum, so you know that your targets, if you're going to get in here, your target's going to be this bottom here, or this top, really. Anything retesting this area. So you definitely made profits here, but I think you really want to get in. If you're going to get in here, where are the stops for the people that are going to get long on breakouts, and where are the bear stops? So there, you could actually just do a revolving door trade here. So you're getting in on a breakout strategy. The revolving door is here. The ATR is small here. You're going to go the other way. And where are you going to cover? Your first cover is going to be to take profits and start buying again is here and here. And you bought this wick and you bought this wick, and you didn't get filled on this one. So you got filled on these for the limit coming back. When the ATRs drop, you're long here. Your targets need to be here, and you're selling these wicks for a kickback. So getting in here, and of course, when the ATR dropped here, your system came in and bought more. If these are all small ATRs, there's no trade for the ATR bot. Now it's on a daily. But you can see how the 4-hour shows up. Like this here. Here's your triangle wedge with the small apex. You know, it's crazy, right? But if you're selling the, and here, you're non-directional in on that. And you're selling new highs. You're selling up into that. You sell 3 tickets into that. And by the time, I guess what it is people don't want to take a loss. If you're long here on a breakout strategy and you're taking profits here and you're putting in, you're selling every new high, so you sell this new high, you got filled, and there's no fill on this new high. This sell, you're selling up into that. You're taking profits, hopefully, here on the new lows, and when it comes all the way back, top becomes a bottom on bars. Tops become bottoms on bars. More aggressive, right? No fill here, actually. Having 5 trade plans. 5 schemes to get in the market. Breakout, limits, and at the market. The market orders are on the first dimension. The limit orders are on this dimension, and this is the breakout strategy. Breakouts on bars, stop entry, well, this is you really don't need that, right? You have market orders and limit orders, stops and limits, and market. This, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a candle trader. It's disturbing in a way. All I care about is the range. I can see this as a fucking doji, right? It opened where it closed. I'd say zero or first dimension, market orders, stops and breakouts. I mean, stops and limits, markets. Stops and limits and markets. This is what I'm saying. To try to build a approach to the market that can utilize a market order and a stop order and a limit order. There's a reason for that fucking entry. There's a reason why you're building a breakout hedge, or there's a reason why you're buying new lows and selling new highs. And you can trade, you can always be in the market, always in. Like, your target is just a place to get out and then sell a little bit there and come back the other way. If you want to place a market order, you're watching, say, another way approach is to put the line chart on the right panel, and on the left panel you have a bar chart. One currency pair. I could do that. I could maybe just do that. Well, I'm always looking at the line chart. So what I just decided to create a hybrid, which is a line chart on top of the second dimension, which is the range. And I canceled out the fact that there's an opening, right? That's all I've done is taken out the open. So the way you perceive, the way you see the market here, it looks like a seriously, like it's in a, like almost like Bitcoin's in an uptrend on the daily, and this is the place to buy before we break the trend line and keep going up. So I'm going to call this Bitcoin, this video, Bitcoin, and really, you know, I mean, I'm kind of excited about Bitcoin all of a sudden. I'm an old guy that just like, oh, that Bitcoin thing. Now, I remember when Bitcoin started, and I told people, what do you think about Bitcoin? And I was actually in a digital currency before that. I was into the first digital currencies that were out there. And digital wallets and all this stuff, I've been in that for just to get my money into Forex. I had to have that. So, Bitcoin, I didn't think people were investing in it. I thought it was just a fucking transfer system. Then I come to find here, and it was back in, it was 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Certainly back here when it was $80. And I said, oh my God, really? Look at this fucking 80. Look down here, it's like, can't even see the price. Yeah, this is the big kahuna price here, $1,000. People can get their brain around $1,000, can't they? Right here. 1,000 even. Just like when gold's at 1,000. Look at breakout, pull back at 1,000, and then see ya. Now we're in a 1,000 pip range here. Wow, it's insane, man. But I think it's going to consolidate up here. It does look like there is one last gasp on the 1 hour chart to go long. Also, I just put the new template instead of refresh all that stuff. I'm sorry, the daily. The daily's a buy, right? Of course, it'd just be a scalp for me because you know where the sellers are coming in at fair value in the middle here. Easily identified by the bottoms becoming tops. And you just go to here for your breakout strategies. I'd actually avoid, at all costs, I would avoid this candlestick stuff. Unless you're willing to sit in a full lotus position and have water trickling in the background and a geisha girl bringing you another geisha girl, then I would say just do not even get involved with these candlesticks. Leave them to the girls. I saw this girl, there's a hot Arabic girl that's got this Google Plus site, and she's on TV and stuff, and she's all about candles. So I was going to make a candle video and post there, and I thought, nah, I'm just too angry about candles. I guess I'll never do it. I mean, think of the mechanical system here on the way this is marching up. Well, only because I used to trade like this. You know, you just keep on placing that buy stop. This is turtle trading. Um, put a buy stop, buy stop, buy stop. They keep, you know, hitting you until the volatility gets. You can't play buy stop no more, right? At this point, you can't play buy stop entry because guess what? Unless you want to risk this much, and you could say, look, I was eventually right. See? Yeah, great. Yeah, you're eventually right up here. The candlestick thing, man. Jesus, the punishment. If you turn on the candlesticks now, you'd be like, okay, there's the doji it could have got in. Granted, but that ATR is bigger than this. And now I'm thinking, I don't know, is that a place to sell? You put a lot of weight, like, so the how you perceive this is gonna determine how you trade it. I like the Western candle because I like to saddle up in martingale a lot, and I just love that. I printed these out and you stare at these things for years, and didn't even have the thought to be non-directional trader, which volatility breakout system here. It's just too much to think about the story of how it opened, where it closed, and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, shut the fuck up, right? So, line chart, bar chart, that's it. I'm sticking to it. So Bitcoins and line charts.